Hello, 8 viewers that I have. 8 to 20 viewers that are probably going to watch this video. This here is our lovely little realm. It's something that I have been spending a lot of time on recently, and I wanted to kind of start to document the process of building stuff in this lovely little realm here. You see, one of the things is I've been doing Minecraft videos, specifically videos, for around about a decade. So I've been doing it for a very, very long time. Now, of course, that comes with the caveat of you sort of get into this almost like diary mode with it, where getting to look back at old archived videos feels kind of like taking a trip down memory lane. So the intention of me making this here series, hopefully a series, we'll see if I actually proceed beyond one singular video, is less to get views or make money or do anything like that, and more just to kind of document the process and have a good time with the people who decide they want to stick along. So I don't expect this to get too many views. It's more for my sake. And with that being said, I figured that if we're going to start building in this world and take you along with me for the ride here, we should probably show you what's already been done, since clearly there has already been plenty of things done on this realm. We've spent about a month and a half on it so far. I will say that this is probably the longest I've spent on a SMP, because this is an SMP. We are currently on a realm. It's definitely been one of the ones that we've put the most love, care, and work into here. So there's lots of things for me to show you here. Lots of unfinished projects, lots of finished projects, lots of builds, lots of really, really cool things. As you can see, there's a massive mansion there on that mountain over there. We are playing with a couple of mods installed. If you want to take a look here, these are all vanilla tweak mods. We have things like Appleskin, Axiom, Continuity, Distant Horizons, some shader pack stuff like Matica, Shulker Box stuff, Tweakaroo, all that good stuff. So how about we go ahead and give you a quick rundown of the world, starting with my base right here. This is my base. I kind of am going for a fantasy medieval vibe, as you can tell. This build here was largely inspired by Pinterest. You'll see that a lot of the builds that I have done around here are inspired by Pinterest. And I'll try to make an effort to showcase the original photo reference for these builds, since a lot of these are more or less a one-to-one copy, I'm not going to lie. However, going forward, I am going to start doing some original builds. This one, for instance, which is unfinished, I still don't love the roof and the texturing, is an original build of mine. And from here on out, I will be doing more original builds, so we'll get to see that and the creative process involved within. So my whole thing for this realm, right, is I am making a small kingdom for villagers. I've been trying to learn a little bit more about villager pathfinding and how they work and everything like that, and I want to create essentially a living city full of villagers with all their own houses and workplaces and everything, instead of having a villager trading hall where they're all crammed into one block spaces. I essentially want them to be able to move around and feel free, and just kind of have it breathing and living and walkable and all these other things. So starting with my house right here, if we go inside here, we only have some pretty simple stuff here. We've got a little crafting station here, taking advantage of the new shelf blocks for decoration. I do quite love these shelf blocks. We've got a very simple manual storage system, nothing crazy or automatic just yet. We do have a little tool station, if you will, with our upgrading thing, our stone cutter and our grindstone. Downstairs we have a little basement area that has an automatic super smelter right here, which has been extremely handy, as you can imagine. Behind these, we do have a couple of different furnaces and smokers and blast furnaces. Upstairs, still unfinished. As you can see, I only have just this tiny little bed right here. We have a little enchantment setup and a very basic brewing stand. My intention was to have this be a lot more fleshed out, but I just haven't done that yet, so I'll need to go in and continue working on this at some point, but projects keep piling up. This game is obviously in its very late stage. We already have elytra and netherite. We are in the post-game phase for sure. Continuing on along with my kingdom here, we have the nether portal here, which we don't have a nether hub yet, so it's still, as of yet, very unfinished. This is the first of the major villager trading kind of halls, sort of guilds, if you will. This is the Fletcher's Guild, so still undecorated on the interior, but as you can see, there are plenty of Fletchers here, all of whom I've been slowly chipping away at, trying to level them up for their emerald traits. Over here is going to be kind of the fishing district, so we have all of the different fishermen and all of their workstations. They kind of hang out in this little building here. Eventually, I have plans to build out a little dock right here for them. So if we continue over this way, we see we have our automatic bamboo farm. So this thing detects whenever the bamboo hits the top and breaks it, falling down into this water stream down here, and then collecting it into this sort of janky, unfinished room down here. As you can tell, a lot of things have been half built out of necessity, and then I have plans to eventually go back and finish them. We'll see if that actually ends up happening. Here we have our auto crafter here for the blocks of bamboo, and for the bamboo just in general as well, in case we ever need scaffolding or anything like that. Then technically this is part of my base, but it is more, I guess, community works. Over here we do have the iron farm. It's a 4-pronged design here, taking advantage very simply of, let's see here, some villagers getting scared by the zombies over and over again, iron zombies. So each of these modules produce an iron golem every about 30 seconds, which is very, very nice, and we slowly gather up the resources in here. We have gotten quite a bit so far, so we are not hurting for iron, which is very nice. And then over here, technically in no man's land, is the Taco Lighthouse, which was built in partnership with me and one of my buddies. We have a working light system here, which is quite interesting. It's very difficult to create a full swipe from one side to the other using redstone. I'm not exactly the greatest redstone engineer in the world. I used to be a lot better back in the day. Nowadays, I'd say that I am okay at best. But this is the solution that I ended up coming up with. Just a simple redstone clock here that goes around in circles, activating these pistons, which then send a signal up a chain of observers to light up all of the corners. Now, I did end up kind of loving the kind of swipe up and right look that the lighthouse has going on for it. So even though I couldn't get it perfect, I still think that it's pretty good. So heading over in this direction, we then have what will eventually become Grand Central Station. This is going to be the central hub. It's very, very close to the spawn chunks of the world. It's not exactly on, but we didn't want it to be exactly on. As you can see, there's going to be this grand kind of hall, which will have all of these different routes to different train tracks that will lead around the world. And we also have our central map here, which is still in progress here, kind of showing you everything in the world. So we were right here just a second ago. This is my little kingdom. There's the iron farm and the lighthouse, and we are right here now. So let's head up over to base here. This is located just over here. This is the Love Shack. Welcome to the Love Shack. He's got lots and lots of pets. He's got Pink Cat Juho, Zeno, Bruno Jr. The first one passed away. Juno, Fresno. There's lots and lots of animals here. And of course, where the magic happens, so right up here, bam. I love it. I'm loving the detail here with the leaves on the ground and all of that as well. And then over here we do have the memorial fountain. As I had mentioned, one of his animals, Bruno, may he rest in peace, unfortunately passed away. So made the Lost Friends Memorial Fountain, where if you ever lose a pet or an animal that you deeply cared about in this game, then you can lay a memorial down here on this fountain. So Bruno, unfortunately, was the first to go, followed very shortly after by my first happy Ghast, Aurelia, who died in the process of making the iron farm. It wasn't really my doing. I was flying over this here river, and a trident drowned, ended up spearing her to death, which pissed me off a lot and encouraged me to begin the project of lighting up all of the water here, at least near my base. I still have yet to go a little further out, but I do have plans to. So let's go ahead and sleep real quick, and then I will take you over to space. So, working on Happy Ghast Farm. So if you follow this path up here, which is very cutely decorated by all of these little sakura blossoms here on the ground, you can get to Happy Ghast Farm, which is an animal shelter and conservancy that is meant to protect all of the animals from the cruel people like me on the server who just killed them. So welcome to Happy Ghast Farm. It's this beautiful little sakura forest here. She has a little greenhouse with all these different plants. She's got sunflowers and berries, and all sorts of little things here. She's eventually going to try to fill up these shelves here with flowers, I know. She had mentioned that. A little carrot farm back here. Very cute. Very, very cute. Over here is her barn, or stable. I think stable is probably the more appropriate term here, as this is where all of her horses are. And then there's cows and all sorts of things. I know there's some goats over here. There was a fox. I think it might have snuck out somehow. Oh, there it is. I don't know how it got out, but it's a sneaky little bugger, I'll tell you that. And then her house, which is still, I'm pretty sure, unfinished, but it's being worked on slowly but surely. She does have a little bit of a cat problem. Cat problem? Is it a problem? Cat addiction? Is that still implying that it's a bad thing? It's a lot of cats, is my point. Bees everywhere. It's a very, very lovely place. I love coming up here. It's very, very cozy, very, very nice. We then go over this way. We get to my brother's place. I feel like his base doesn't really need any kind of introduction. It kind of speaks for itself. We do have distant horizons turned on, as you can see. We can see super far off into the distance, like really, really far off into the distance. And pretty much no matter how far you go out, you still can see this base. I think up to 512 chunks away, you can still see this. 512 chunks, mind you. That's 512 times. So you could see his base clearly from 8,192 blocks away. That is how immense this thing is. Like, I'm standing pretty far away from it, but I mean, the fact that it's up on a mountain and it is as big as it is insane. It's almost at the clouds. This thing is humongous. Absolutely humongous. You can really see just about everything from up here. It's really quite incredible. So we do have some farms and stuff that I haven't necessarily mentioned yet, but down here is base. Still working on it here. His base is negative feng shui, so he's trying to go for some interesting build decisions here. I do quite like it. I think embracing the chaos is great. I love the random extended piston, the random diamond blocks, gold ore blocks, the magenta tower of arrows and stuff like that. But he does have a pretty sincere base he's working on. I won't show it just yet because it's still under construction, and I want him to kind of, you know, be able to build in peace and not have the early days of it shown too much. But he does also have... Oh god, do I want to do this on video? I do. A lovely little noise machine here, which is great, and I love it. It's wonderful. And so yeah, that's pretty much the basics of our lovely little world. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just kind of document as we go along here all the little different additions that get added, the little progress markers that get added, and things like that. And also just kind of document how my life is going as well in the meantime, since that's kind of what I use these for anyway. Back in the day, I liked to look back on these old sort of Minecraft videos and just sort of see how things have changed, how I've changed as a person, how my environment has changed. It's a really good way to look back on kind of you as a person. So to all 20 people who decided to click on this video and have actually watched to this point, which is probably just me rewatching it a couple of years from now, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more as time progresses, and we'll get to hang out with some people and do all that good stuff. So I guess as always, thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you soon.